I am extremely sore today.
Okay.
I haven't done a Peloton in like 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
You did a Peloton yesterday?
I did a Peloton yesterday.
Okay.
It's been sitting, as most Pelotons do, with clothes over the top of it.
That is not how my
for
Peloton does.
for about 8 months, because during the summer we either run outside, do the stairs, go to the gym, something.
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, well, I've been doing all these other workouts. I'm probably good. Like, I'll just hop back into the Peloton. I was dying yesterday on the Peloton, and I'm doing a 20-minute hit ride, and I could not get over just like how difficult it was, because it just hits muscle groups so differently, despite the fact that like I'm running further or doing more stairs than I've ever been able to. I get on the Peloton and I am so sore today.
Was it like, because the way a hit ride, I feel like they aren't very, like the resistance isn't always very heavy with a hit ride.
No, it's not. And that's what killed me. It wasn't the resistance. It was like the 110 revolutions or whatever it's called at X percent.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like this is so difficult.
Those are the ones I really dislike. Like I
hated it.
My favorite is like standing up at a high resistance.
Yeah. I could do that for much longer, and I enjoy that because it keeps you at a different zone. But these like hit rides, oh my God!
I feel like they know too that we want to stand up.
They're like, no, stay seated.
We're gonna stick between 110 and 120 for 40 seconds at like a 50 resistance.
Yeah, and you're gonna hate your life the following day.
Good luck. But then you get to rest for 10.
Yeah, but my point is that I guess coming in here today, thinking about how sore I am, I tend to, I'll say, focus so much on one thing for so long. I guess it's kind of a good thing in certain respects, but maybe what that taught me is that I needed to be more well-rounded in my workouts.
Well, yeah.
Because it's like the stairs, the row machine, all these different things just hit so differently. If you could do all of those things and just consistently rotate between them, yeah, like that would be pretty legit. And it's like every single one of these machines just hits so different.
Well, see, that's what cross training really is. It's not just like, I feel like cross training has become like, do this weird thing and then lift this weight, and then do this really weird thing and then lift this weight.
Right.
And it's really just about doing different things with your body. They don't have to be extreme or weird. It's just like moving in different directions, right? Like, literally, when we run and when we bike, our like hips are going like basically straight. Yeah. And the cross training is literally like just moving your hips in a different way. Like
it's different movement.
Side to side is a different movement, for example. Like so there are all these different things that we should do to get it's like a balanced diet, essentially. It's a balanced workout diet.
It is. And Kaylee and I were talking about this coming into 2026. Here's my pivot.
Okay.
Coming into 2026, because I've had the same workout routine for like 6 years in regards to weightlifting, and I track it and I'm pretty good and I'm advancing and all that good stuff. But I want to switch up the exercises I'm doing altogether. Like I don't want to revisit the same lifting exercises I'm doing, or if I am going to do one thing, as opposed to doing like a Smith machine, I'm going to use like free weights or something like that. So that way it just hits different. I guess I want to come into 2026 with different systems to hit differently.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And what you're doing is you are compounding your growth.
You always gotta sneak that
I'm just saying, look, this is the point. Welcome to the Compound Growth Podcast with Collin and Wheeler, where we talk all things growth, from financial growth to career growth, personal development to societal progress. We explore how each layer builds on the next, compounding over time to shape who we become. Each week, we break down complex ideas and emerging trends into clear, actionable insights. Because growth isn't just about numbers, it's about understanding the world and our place in it. The information in this material is for general information only, and is not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. Investment advice offered through Integrated Partners, doing business as Ko-Fi Advisors LLC, a registered investment advisor. Integrated Partners does not provide legal, tax, mortgage, advice, or services. Please consult your legal tax advisor regarding your specific situation. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investing involves risk, including loss of principal. No strategy assures success or protects against loss. The economic forecasts set forth in this material may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that the strategies promoted will be successful. Collin, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yes. Happy 2026.
Yes. Welcome to 2026, where we continue to grow.
Yes.
Right? I think one of the things that I'd like to do, throughout our time here is have some checkpoints to look at where we were and, where we are and what our takeaways have been. Because, I think the word of the year, which we're going to talk about today, is a really good, before you just move on to 2026. All right, new year, new word, let's go. It's nice to say, okay, what did I learn from the last year's word, right? Did I even approach the exercise the right way? Mm-hmm. Because this is fairly new to me. I have not always had a guiding word. Yeah, this is a reflection of my own growth and Jessica's growth, and I think that it's good to take time to reflect, because you and I are really crappy at that. Mm-hmm. I feel like you're getting better at it. The journaling, I think, is a really cool thing that you brought up lately.
Yeah, I mean, I historically have been really bad at it, and it's just like a muscle like anything else. If you don't use it, you lose it. And it's to say you're bad at something doesn't mean you can't improve.
Right, exactly. So let's talk a little bit about what the guiding word is. Mm-hmm. Right, as we mentioned in our final episode
2025.
Of 2025, the guiding word is essentially something that you can come to, a word, right, that you can come back to throughout the year. That's like an intention that you are setting for the year that's defined by a certain word. And it's in place of a silly New Year's resolution that we all kind of come up with on New Year's and forget 3 days after New Year's, or maybe 2 weeks. I should give people more credit.
In my own mind, it almost is like theming for the year.
I like that. Yeah.
It's as we go through like a house or something like that, or we talk through a financial plan, usually someone has some sort of theme where it's I want to travel, or if you have a design inspo photo for a space, this is the theme that I want. And the same thing with the guide word. So you come into 2026, you have a theme that you're going in, a word that's going to guide you through your decision making and kind of carry you through.
Yeah. Did you know each year has a color?
No.
Yeah. Do you know what the color for 2026 is?
Will I be able to see it? What is it? For those of you that don't know, I'm colorblind. Probably why I don't know this.
I actually take umbrage with this word, this color. The color this year is white. Now, I'm pretty sure from my elementary school education.
Don't say white is white. Because white is not white. There are 4,000 different shades of white.
But white isn't a color. White is the absence of color. Pure white is the absence of color.
Pure white is the absence of color. That's
and
true.
I don't know if there's a certain white. We could probably fact check the 2026 color of the year.
Is it black? The absence
cloud white.
It's cloud white. Right. Thank you. Did you already know this? White. Wow. See, Tori.
Pantone,
where did you learn this?
Pantone has it every year. It's
yeah.
It's cool.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
What is Pantone?
Pantone's a color I don't even know.
I figured it was Benjamin Moore or something.
It's the color dictionary.
They don't actually, they don't actually make paint colors, but they make colors. They're color scientists, or there's a name for
what a job.
The people that come up with colors.
I would
and the
be
names
terrible
of colors.
at this.
Yeah. So
color scientist?
Yeah.
Can you be, I'd be like, ChatGPT, what should I call this color?
Yeah. They probably do that now. But.
So wait, Tori, cloud white is the color of 2026. What was the color for 2025? Do you remember?
I don't recall that far ago.
Is mud a color? I feel like that far ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't recall way back to 2025. Anyways.
So white's the color of the year, specifically
cloud
white.
What was the color of 2025, Tori?
Mocha mousse, which was a brown.
Okay, so mud. I'm going to call it mud.
That actually, that actually makes sense, because I felt like there were so many earthy tones in a lot of things last year.
Yes.
That was a big theme. Yeah. And kind of makes sense now.
It does get like taken and,
Yes.
and like
Used everywhere.
yes.
That's right. That's why I've been watching that show, Nobody Wants This, on Netflix, which Tori knows, but Colin, I will tell you.
I don't know.
It's about a white blonde woman played by Kristen Bell.
Okay. I love Kristen
who
Bell.
falls in love with a rabbi
Okay.
played by Adrian Brody from The OC.
Oh,
You
yeah.
might remember.
I do.
So, anyways.
I didn't even realize he was into acting.
It's called Nobody Wants This because in his culture, you need to marry a Jewish woman.
Okay.
Like, you can't just, like, marry anybody, especially if you're a rabbi. And she is not Jewish. So the whole thing is like, wait a second, can this work? Nobody wants this to work, etc. Point is, the color palette of that show is absolutely mocha brown or whatever that color was for 2025. Like, everything that they wear is like, and like the sets and like the atmosphere, it's very like intentionally mocha.
Everything on my Pinterest is brown. And I didn't know if that was just me or 2025.
Now it will be cloud white.
Now it will be
cloud white.
Cloud
So.
white.
All right,
well,
so theming for the year.
Theming for the year. So we're going to talk today about the word selection, which I think you've gone back and forth on a little bit, and you've had some time to think about it. So I'm excited to hear where you landed.
I have been back and forth.
My word for the year is bravery. And that's because I, in 2025, took some time to identify that fear was a component in a lot of my decision making. And so I'm looking to go the opposite direction. I'm embracing the opposite of fear, which is bravery. And I'm going to look for opportunities to identify when I am making a decision based on fear of disappointing people or fear of missing out on something or, fear that if I, have this glass of bourbon, I'm going to sleep miserably for the rest of my life. I'm going to make choices that are maybe identifying the fear, but then determining whether it's a useful fear or something that's just holding me back.
How did you identify that you were making decisions out of fear?
It's a really good question. I think, like so many things in my life and in this podcast, it was going through and exploring a lot of different knowledge, like a lot of different perspectives, like a lot of different reflections, and saying, wait a second, what's the common through line, right? So I do this through listening to other podcasts. I do this through therapy. Yeah. I do this through talking to you or talking to my wife, or like having these conversations in here helps me reflect. So totally. I feel like at its best, that's what this podcast is. And it's an opportunity to identify different aspects of our life and say, is that what we want, or is that something we can change and improve upon?
It's good to find that baseline.
Yeah.
Because once you find the baseline, you can either improve upon it or say this is really great, and keep status quo. But it's good to identify the strengths and weaknesses. Not that making decisions out of fear is a weakness, but you can look at it and say, well, I want to make this change. Yeah, reflection's important.
Yeah, it's really like my friend and I call it the disease to please. We call this like this thing that we do where we like put other people first, like all the time, to our detriment.
Yeah.
And I could have said like, okay, here's what's happening. Like, I know why that's happening. But if you kind of like just go deeper, like layer by layer in the Onion Shrek style, you can say, what is really behind this? What's behind this? What's behind this? And that's where I landed.
I love it. I think that's a great one. I wouldn't have ever thought of that as a guiding word personally. And I love that we're bringing like a different perspective to this, because now that I think through, certainly it's pretty difficult to not make some decisions out of fear. And it's good to sit back and ask yourself before you pull the trigger on something, am I doing this because like I feel like I need to, or am I doing this because this is actually what I want?
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to be unapologetic about what you want.
I think I think that there's something honest, right, and authentic about just declaring what you want or what you need.
Yeah.
And making it known, and not just making it known to like the people around you, but to yourself as well.
My mom's funny with this, and I have huge respect for her in this regard. Because if there's something she doesn't want to do, she'll just tell you straight up, no, I'm good. There's no excuse. Yeah. There's no excuse of like, I got this thing I got to do and blah, 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 blah. And I'm really busy. It's, hey, do you want to go here with me or do this and that? And she's like, no, I'd rather stay home and watch QVC tonight. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay. And she's just like, but this is what I want to do. And she's just like, if you want to join, then you can join. But tomorrow I'd love to go. And it's respectful because there's no like, you do what you want to do.
You know who she is.
Totally.
Right? You don't question it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Collin, what word did you finally land on?
I have landed on identity.
Okay.
I was thinking through this a lot over the last few weeks because we've been having discussions about this. And it brought me back to one of my best friends growing up. Mm-hmm. And she had her father pass away when we were in our mid-20s. But her dad, I loved. He was huge into skiing and travel, just super laid back, chill guy, into cars. And, him and I would always, talk and have a great time together. He had really funny sayings about, never let your Sunday or never let the fear of Monday ruin your Sunday. Mm-hmm. And he was just an awesome kind of like skier, chill, boating guy. Everyone wanted to be around him. He was kind of that infectious happiness. And as I was thinking through my goals would almost be to be more like that. And as I looked past through 2025, I set out a bunch of goals for myself at the beginning of the year. Some I hit, some I didn't. And I think the reason why I didn't hit some of the goals is because I stopped caring about them like 4 or 5 months in. Like I just didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
I'd make progress and I would focus on other things. Then I'd lose sight of it. Then I came back this month and I looked back at them and I was like, I never hit these goals. And I got disappointed. And then I thought about it more and I was like, I actually don't even care. But with that being said, if I can choose who I want to be or who I want to look like, that kind of gives me something to, I'll say, identify with further down the road. It makes it more visual to me, where I can be like, well, if this is who I'm trying to be, I can imagine that. I can see myself doing that. That is exciting. Because sometimes when I'm just like, I want to lose 10 pounds, that's not a very effective goal for me. Like, sure, you can do that, but that's not exciting. That's kind of intangible in a way.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense because, this is why resolutions fail every year.
Absolutely.
Right? It's just like, if you want to lose 10 pounds, first of all, like, you need to have the ongoing strength to like make sure that that's actually, I think what the thing is, people don't necessarily want to lose 10 pounds. They want like something else, right? They don't want to save money. I was talking to a client yesterday. He wants to feel like he can save money. Mm-hmm. And it's because he wants to like contribute more to like the purchase of a house.
Okay.
And like his partner has done a really good job of putting herself in a position where she can contribute to the house, right? Mm-hmm. So he's feeling like I'm not doing my part, right? And at the same time, he hasn't been doing a great job of saving money because he loves spending money, right? And that's not a bad thing. There are things that are priorities to him that he focuses on, and she shares a lot of these priorities, which is great. So it's like trying to find that balance and understanding why saving money is important, why spending on these things is important. If you want to lose 10 pounds, do you really want to lose 10 pounds, or do you want to look good in the mirror? And if you want to look good in the mirror, who are you trying to look good for? Are you trying to lose weight for your health? Yep. Are you trying to lose weight because the magazine told you so, right?
Yeah, well, I totally agree. The most common, I'll say, like resolutions or goals that I constantly hear is I want to spend less, I want to save more, I want to prioritize my finances. Those are the financial ones, but then you also have I want to lose weight, things like that. But those to me are very effective goals. I think the goal should be, I envision myself traveling more in a few years and I need to build financial systems to help me get there. Or it's like I see myself being more comfortable in my body to be able to spend more time with my kids. Or I see myself wanting to do more activities with friends and get out more and go skiing or whatever it might be, enjoying life. So I think putting yourself in the mindset, and this is where I kind of came up with my own mind of identity, being able to see yourself doing something, using your imagination and getting really excited about it, that to me motivates me to say, well, I'm going to go skiing more with Kaylee, or I'm going to prioritize more time with friends, or, we're going to try to enjoy this time of life more, even though it's freezing outside and 10 degrees and all that good stuff.
Yep.
That to me resonates and makes a goal or a resolution more exciting and feasible and interesting.
What I'm curious about, because you've identified the identity that you want to design. Like we've talked about life design before. That's something that Jess really focuses on and has talked about a little bit on our podcast. This identity that you've identified, it feels familiar, it seems, because of this guy you knew while you were growing up.
Yep.
And you really appreciated the energy that he brought.
Absolutely.
What I'm curious about is, can we choose to be somebody with that infectious energy? Or is that the result or the outcome of the life that he chose to lead? Like, is that just like his life that leads to that? Like McConaughey, for example, we've talked about, like,
he's got a vibe.
He's got a vibe, and he's led a life that has created that vibe, and he's not starting, in his 30s. So I'm not saying that you can't do this. I'm very curious to hear how you intend to approach this.
It's a great question. Yesterday was a great day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell us why yesterday was a great day.
Yesterday was a great day because I woke up, I had great sleep, rolled out of bed, good mood, had a great smoothie. Just everything was going well. Great client conversations, all that kind of stuff. And then even meetings that, I had at the end of the day that I wasn't looking forward to, I was in the office till 6:30 or 7, were still really great because I had this kind of positive energy. And, there are other days where I wake up just like anybody else and you roll out of bed and you just like don't feel like it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can necessarily change your vibe, but I think you can make a concerted effort to bring a certain energy. And I think that's probably a habit. The way that I think about it, I could be probably better about bringing a more positive energy sometimes. And if you make that a habit, it's probably going to carry you a little bit further with these goals of imagining kind of what it is that you want to be. To go to the Matthew McConaughey thing, I don't see myself ever being like that. But what I can say is that what I admire about my friend's dad who passed away wasn't necessarily the energy he brought. That's awesome. And it was certainly very memorable, but it was almost his priorities that I think really stuck with me. And it was prioritizing his time with family and friends and social connections and activities and enjoying life. I guess I don't want to get stuck in the minutia of having these super long weeks, sitting at home on the weekends, not enjoying life more. I guess it's almost envisioning myself pushing further to get more enjoyment.
It's funny to juxtapose pushing further to relax more.
Yeah, it's true.
It's an intentional effort to relieve effort.
Well, it's very easy. I think routines are hard to change.
Yeah.
And a lot of our routine right now is chilling on the weekends, especially when it's cold and crappy outside. Summers we're more active, but it's going to require a concerted effort for us to go out and do more. Yeah. And I want to change that routine.
Yeah. It's funny how your identity, like how you see yourself, isn't necessarily how other people see you. Like, you've known that I've been excited to get a Rivian for a while.
Yes.
Right? I told Tori I was going to get a Rivian. She's like, you're not a Rivian person.
I think you're a Rivian guy.
I only know you with one car, so
exactly. So
identities change.
Tori has associated my car identity with a very different vehicle, so it's really interesting to me, and that's like perception versus reality. And I think we can create our own reality, and we talk about this. I do think that you can tap into an energy. You can channel energy. I really believe that the universe creates an abundance of whatever we want to get from it if we learn how to
harness
navigate
that energy.
Yeah. And there's this woman, Brene Brown, who Jess and I listen to a lot, and she was talking about how she's really trying to foster gratitude. And I would love to do that too. Like I have all these things that I want to do, and I'm trying to prioritize one thing at a time. But an example that she brought up is, she was watching her daughter go off to prom, and she was like riddled with anxiety and fears, and like, what if something goes wrong tonight? What if there's a car accident? Like there's a high, like, the odds of a car accident on prom night are significantly higher.
Yep.
And so she just started like chanting to herself, like, I am grateful for this moment. I am grateful for this moment. And her son turned to her dad, or her husband, and was like, what's wrong with mom?
What's wrong with mom?
And her husband's like, she needs to do this right now so that she can like navigate this
situation right? Positively.
Yeah. But I do think like it's easy to have that infectious energy or that identity that you're striving for in the good moments. It's those difficult moments, where you can have those systems like you brought up. Like, I feel like when somebody wants to lose 10 pounds, they want the outcome. They don't want everything. They don't want that Peloton experience that you were talking about,
No. Well, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the levels of your systems.
Yeah.
You know? And when it comes to doing things that you don't want to do on the bad days, like if you don't feel like saving money today, or if you just don't feel like logging into your brokerage account, or if you don't feel like going to the gym and whatnot, if you've set up good systems to make it easy or automatic, then it makes those hard days so much easier.
Yeah.
Like I know for me, certainly there are days where, it would be great to have an extra X percent in my paycheck. So that way Kaylee and I can do more stuff, or if we have a tight month, whatever it might be. But the fact that it automatically goes into our account and I'm not thinking about it, I'm like, well, now I need to go log in. I need to sell stuff. I need to move it over. Then I need to send the request. It's like work to not do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me, I think, is the secret to making a habit or a resolution stick, in the same way that with the gym, if I block time off in my calendar to go do that, knowing that it's not going to get filled, then the odds of me going are much greater.
Yeah, so that sounds like what you're talking about is like an identity-based habit. Like,
exactly.
What are some other good identity-based habits that you might bring to this year, and what are some bad ones that we should all try to avoid?
Well, there's plenty of bad ones. I'll say my biggest bad identity thing is I love to bake, as you know.
Wait. Let's not label. Why is this bad?
Well, I haven't gotten to the bad part.
Okay.
Yeah, the baking's the good part.
Okay. I enjoy when you bake.
No, I know. It's great. But the thing is that I bake a lot, and then I leave them on the counter right when I walk in the door.
Okay.
So whenever I walk in the door, or I come down the stairs, or I walk in from the living room, I walk past this counter. Mm-hmm. There's always a plate of cookies or baked goods or something that's sitting on the counter. I'm always just grab one.
Yeah.
Versus if I was to package them up, put them in the fridge, or put them in a different part of the kitchen that I don't see very often. Super small habit. I would probably have half the amount of sweets.
So what would the goal be there?
So I think the goal would be, just in general, and once again, I hate I want to lose 10-pound goals, but I want to say that for me, I want to be the type of person that eats less sweets or prioritizes better, like health.
So it might be that when you do have a cookie or something, a sweet, whatever it might be, whatever you baked, you really just want to appreciate like that moment. Like it's a special moment, not just like a every time I walk by the cookie moment.
Casual situation. Yeah. In the same way, like with activities. So one of our big things this year is to identify with that persona that I want to be a little bit more and to think through that. I want to do more activities and spend more time with friends and family. So Kaylee and I bought ski lessons this year.
Yep.
And I'm prioritizing and really pushing ourselves to get out of the house on the weekends and enjoy life a little bit more, even when it's freezing here. So that way we can be with people who will bring us happiness and fill our cup a little bit more. So by taking the action to do that, to sign up for the classes, it's going to force us to get out and change the habits.
Yeah, you're building that system instead of just relying on like willpower, which
100%.
I personally don't believe exists. I don't think there's anything about willpower that is, if it's there, it's a good thing. No.
Yeah, willpower is temporary in my mind.
Yeah. I any habit, any goal that is based on willpower, like every time I have this opportunity, I'm going to make a decision to do what's right. I do think that it's important to have that kind of like that approach to having that filter question, asking yourself, is this aligned with the person I'm becoming?
Yep.
Is this in alignment with my guiding word? Is this choice being made out of fear? Where is the fear and the choice is the way I would look at this, and what can I do to, turn that fear into bravery, to twist the dial for me?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's I guess you could look at this as like the marshmallow rule, where I'm like, oh, I'll just have all these treats out on the counter, and then, I will be brave and not eat them, or something. But I do feel like creating systems that rely on you to make an active choice every time is much, much harder than just making that choice early on and creating that system and then just sticking with the system.
One of my favorite things that we do for clients, especially young earners, is like one of the very first things is we set up an automatic savings into their account.
Yeah.
And most of the time when we sit with people for the first time, we're going to say, hey, we know you're saving into a 401k, but you're not saving into a non-retirement account, brokerage account type of system.
Yeah.
Do you think you could start with $100 a month? Or whatever it might be, $250, $1,000, depending on the income. And people are like, sure, that's not going to make that much of a difference. I'm not going to notice.
Yeah.
Then a year goes by. Hey, you've been saving $200 a month. Doesn't really seem like you notice. What if we bump that to $350? Sure. Next thing you know, 4 or 5 years later, they've got tens and tens of thousands of dollars in this account. And they're like, how did it get so big? But when you start the systems really small, when you don't have to think about them, when you, I'll say, put a good foundation down, it's not about these massive seismic shifts like we talked about last time. It's about these incremental wins over a long period of time. It's compound growth.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are ways to take that even one step further, where like people who save into their 401k often have the option to automatically increase their contribution.
Totally.
And if they save on a percentage basis, every time they get a raise, they're increasing their contribution. And it's all these automated systems that really lead you towards that outcome that you're looking for. And I do think there are some things like forced savings that are really beneficial, like 401ks, for example, are great. The other side of that is a liability, like a mortgage. Every mortgage payment you make is forced savings, right? You are forced, if you don't want to
pay down principal.
Yeah. If you want to avoid, the bank coming after you and seizing your home, you have to make these payments. And yes, you're paying interest, but you are also paying down principal. And sometimes that when people are in a rush to pay off their mortgage, that gets to me. Because if they have like a 2.75% interest rate, it's like it's forced savings and you're outpacing inflation. Like it's a good thing that sometimes people think liabilities equal bad, and sometimes liabilities equal forced savings.
I have a question for you. Looking back this time at the end of the year, so basically we're saying end of December of 2026.
So I'm fast forwarding a year.
You're fast forwarding a year.
And then I'm coming back to
so you're fast forwarding a year looking back on 2026.
Okay.
What would success look like to you?
I think success continuously for me looks like progress. I don't think it's an outcome necessarily. It's not achieving a goal. It's looking back at the year and recognizing what I accomplished through just making progress, because I don't believe in perfection. I don't believe in finite goals even. If there's a goal, and I think this is a longer conversation we could have at some point.
It is.
But for me, what I like to have is the goal for me is just the process or the journey or the progress. The initial outcome is great, but also not the point for me. But what about you? What would you do this year to generate success or feel successful by the end of it?
You know, I'm not 100% sure. 2024 was one of the most stressful years of my life. As I look back through it, we got married, we got a puppy. Kaylee was graduating from PA school and doing rotations all over Maine. We started the company, got married, moving. Like there was like 8 different things that were going on at the same time. And
I remember it was a lot.
All of them were super stressful and it was very anxious. And when I got to the end of the year, it was great because I checked off all of these boxes.
Yeah.
But I looked back in the year and I was like, man, that was rough. Like, I don't want to go through that again, where we had 8 different things at the same time. So I look at it, and I think most people would look at it and say it's successful because Kaylee got a job, we started the business, like we did all of that. But it didn't feel successful because I felt incredibly drained and exhausted from the year, and it just felt like it was too much.
Yeah.
But then I look back at 2025 this year, and we didn't do as much significant things necessarily, but we made incremental progress along the way. I'm echoing basically what you're saying in the sense that it's not exactly that I'm able to look back and check off boxes, but it's the fact that when I look back from the start of this year, there were improvements on most things that we set out to do.
Yeah.
There was no end goal.
The end is death, right? So
I think the end goal is to just have more goals for me.
For you. Yeah. You know what I realized? I really, really don't like the word success. Like, I hate this, man. We're always talking about, and I'm not upset with you for bringing this up right now, but
no, it's a good thing to chat through because I think I know where this is going, but I'm excited.
We're just like, we're constantly focused on success. We're asking ourselves, what does success mean to you? And it's like, it's very well intentioned. It's like trying to I don't know if sometimes it's like reprogramming us to say, well, success doesn't have to mean like a big house and a good job and a family or whatever. But it's like, why do we have to feel successful? I guess like I don't want to feel like a failure, but do I have to focus all my time on what success means to me? Or can I just like say, today I lived with intention and I made some choices I was really happy with and I feel good about that. Like I want to feel good. If success means feeling good, then cool. But I just don't think that that's what we're normally landing on. I think we're landing on like this big thing that has to define who we are and what we're doing. And I just don't want that so much.
Everybody always says, I want to be successful. I think I just want to be.
Yeah.
Like you can eliminate the successful out of the end of that. And I was looking at my phone because I wrote down a quote, funny enough, last night that you were just talking through that I wrote down. And it kind of resonates with this. But basically, it says what I am, it's an architect. And basically what she was saying was, who am I inside that I'm not showing to the world, but I'd like to?
Right. Yeah. Like that's
coming into 2026.
Yeah. I think that's great. Like what is your authentic identity?
Authentic identity. So successful, I think, is a terrible identity because everybody identifies success as something totally different.
Yeah.
And for me, as I go back to the very beginning of this, what I resonate a lot with my friend's dad that passed away is even though he died young, he still had a full life. He did so many cool things. He enjoyed life. He spent a ton of time with family and friends. he didn't have like, it's not exactly like he was unsuccessful. He had a very successful career and was a very successful business owner, but people looked at his success as the fact that he took enjoyment out of life, that he had fantastic relationships, that he spent time with friends and family, that he prioritized and found success in the things that he enjoyed. He just was who he was.
Yeah. I do think, though, we have to acknowledge the fact that like his financial success enabled him to do all these other things that he wanted to do. And that's not always the case. Like Jess has a favorite quote that she's been bringing up a lot lately. It's a John Lennon quote.
Okay.
And I will butcher it like I butcher every quote, but I'll set the stage. So John Lennon, young boy, Manchester, I believe, England, and is in school, and they're doing an exercise, and it's a career exercise. And the question asked by the teacher is, what do you want to be in life? And John Lennon answers, I want to be happy. And the teacher says, you didn't understand the question. And John Lennon said, you don't understand life. And Jess brings that up a lot because she's been talking about life design a lot. It's not necessarily about like, you know, when we were kids, when I was a kid, and I think probably when you were a kid, it was like, what career do you want? Do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to be a firefighter, an astronaut, a teacher, whatever, like this like easily definable career is that I think are all seemingly going away. But it's really about like, what did you want to do with that part of your life that works in unification or like creates that unity or harmony with the rest of your life? And when people are talking about like work-life balance, that's what they're trying to say. Like, I want to have this and this, but really the best version of that is when those are the same thing or like they're intertwined in such a way that it's designing a life that you want to live.
I was with a client last night who was planning on retiring at 62, 63. She had a really tough job and she was like, I'm done. Well, that company that she worked for ended up going out of business. And then she ended up getting a new job that she was only going to do part-time. But then she joined this new company and she loved the management. Now she works full-time. She's just like, I don't ever see myself retiring. Even though she could. She was like, I love going into work. I love the people I work with. It's great benefits. I love the patients. Like, we're having such a good time. I jump out of bed every morning. Can't wait to go in. And I think it's not necessarily that, you know, you have to love what you do or whatever it might be. But for me, as I look back on 2024 and that super stressful year, I didn't have fun.
Right.
This year was more fun. And I think the way that I look at it is like, yes, I agree with the happiness, but like, I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask?
No, let's have fun in 2026. I feel like everybody deserves a little fun.
Everybody deserves a little fun. Yeah.
Biggest takeaway for you today?
Biggest takeaway for me is I was on the fence with what my guiding word was.
Yeah.
Coming into this week and the last few weeks. Now I feel pretty cemented in it today. And as an action item for the listeners, if you give yourself a guiding word, don't just decide this is your guiding word willy-nilly and then just try to carry that forward. Make sure you really resonate with it.
Yeah.
Talk it through with your friends, talk it through with spouses, make it a fun exercise that's more social. Because now I know to hold you accountable to bravery.
Yeah.
I know you're going to hold me accountable to identity in the same way that Tori is, and we don't have your identifying word yet, but we will get it.
Do you know it?
Like,
you think about it.
I haven't dug as deep, I feel like, as you guys have, but
You must have been thinking about it, though, because of all the talking about it we've been doing.
Past couple of days, yeah. I feel like mine's actually a little bit of a combination of the both of yours.
Okay. Well, we won't put you on the spot. Yeah, we're looking forward to discussing that more.
Okay.
But I do agree with the accountability part.
Yeah.
Because I literally, while I was just talking like 2 minutes ago about the John Lennon thing, or 3 minutes ago, I don't know how long it was, I hedged what I was about to say I let my fear take hold, and I said, I better make sure that I address the fact that I'm probably going to mess up this quote. And so like I set
Just
that
deliver.
pretext, and I got in my own way. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's a small thing that I didn't identify at the time, but I can reflect on now and say, maybe I should do less of this. Like maybe I should stop. Like it's okay for me to butcher the quote. I don't have to tell you that I'm going to. And if I did, I don't think I did actually. I think I did a good job. But
I think that was perfect. I've heard that quote before, and that's exactly how I remember it.
I think I nailed it. But if I say I'm going to butcher this quote, I'm probably going to butcher the quote. Like I'm more likely to do the thing I don't want to do by saying I'm likely to do it.
Yeah. Well, we'll hold each other accountable in 2026.
Yeah.
It's good to set the stage.
Yeah.
Get it going, and then, I'm excited to see where we end up at the end of the year. A lot of growth to come.
I'm so excited for this year.
Me too.
I cannot. It might be the coffee. I've got a lot of energy right now.
Could be the caffeine.
Thanks, Colin.
Thanks, everyone.
Compound Growth with Wheeler and Collin, sponsored by Ko-Fi Advisors. Reach out today. Yay!